is it true that this area in Bukit Timah area, the new launches
don't profit? Like we're talking about Laura Green, 4th Avenue, places
the most
like
recent ones.
Yes. Yeah. So I think now we have to look at historically how prices were in Bukit Timah versus other areas to make a fair comparison lah. Okay. So now let's look at Bukit Timah versus OCR in 2019. Okay, so in 2019, now we are taking 4th Avenue versus Treasure at Tampines. So back in 2019, right, actually we see that the price gap between Bukit Timah, which is at 2004, versus Treasure at Tampines is 1004. That means the selling price between these two projects are at about close to 80% gap. So now let's look at today. Currently, we'll look at Bukit Timah again versus Pioneer, which is also in Tampines,
yes.
right? Yeah, so now we look at the gap in 2026.
Which is the current situation right now.
Yeah, correct. So now, Pioneer is actually launched at an average of 2,546 PSF, right, averagely. So now if we compare it to Dana House, Bukit Timah, we are only looking at an 18% gap as compared to previously an 80% gap.
We are taking Dannon House and average about 3,000 per square foot.
Correct.
So based on that, actually for Pioneer has already sold. In fact, it is already 90% of units sold.
Yes.
So this is a very fair comparison because the average pricing is at that 2005-ish and highest transacted is 2007. So based on that, right, it's actually just an 18% gap.
Yep.
Another example we also want to show is that, for example, Park Esta in District 14, and then we also compare with again 4th Avenue, alright, which is again in Bukit Timah area. The price gap that we see is 41% at that point of time. So fast forward today, so with an average sales, with a take-up rate of 72%, the average per square foot is actually $2,800 per square foot, close to even 2009. Yeah. So again, if I were to take this in relative to Dannon House, about 3,000 per square foot, right, the price gap is now only at 4%. So just now we've seen like Tampines area was back then 80%. Now up to current is 18%.
Yep.
And then comparing Park Esta, all right, and then
which is 41%.
With Bukit Timah is 41%. And fast forward today is only at 4%.
So does that mean that Dannon House is something that we can consider because the price gap has from 80% or even 41% dropped to 18 or even 4%?
Yes, correct. Based on the numbers that we see, right, because of the price gap is so little, it could be an opportunity for us to be looking into the core central area right now. We cannot say that, Bukit Timah property don't profit. Because actually what happened is the price gap that we should be looking at. So it's not or as long as it's properties in Bukit Timah, it doesn't profit as much because we have seen that it's very much due to the price gap.